Good afternoon, folkers. Snapzilla Gorilla, aka The Definition, coming at y'all with another quick video. So, I know you read the title, and just to start off, just to let you guys know, this is not a video about launching ad hominem attacks towards Hassan Campbell. This is about analyzing the information we received about the accusations of him being, a child molester. All right. So, as most of you know, some of you don't know who Hassan Campbell is. Some of you do. For those of you who do know, a few days ago, somebody came out with a video launching accusations at Hassan Campbell, saying that he was molested by Hassan Campbell for 2 years, from age 16 to 18. Okay, in that initial video, there was not enough information to go on to really definitively say, okay, yeah, Hassan did this. Okay, so, but there are other things involved in this whole situation that I'm going to be talking about, and this is an objective look at the question of whether or not Hassan Campbell might be a child molester. Okay, whether these accusations may be true or not. So to start off, again, like I said, this is not a video about launching ad hominem attacks towards Hassan Campbell. Ad hominem attacks are counterproductive, and they don't do anything but make people laugh if it's funny. But it doesn't really address the issues at hand, right? So the issue is at hand is whether or not someone with the following that he has is a child molester, is someone who could manipulate people and have them fall victim to whatever machinations he might have, toward their children or toward them, whatever. Okay, so let's point out a couple things. The guy said he was 16 years old. Okay, now at age 16, if Hassan had done this, and this was supposed to have happened started 4 years ago, Hassan is in his 40s. That's obviously very disgusting if it happened. So if a man in his late 30s is canoodling with a 16-year-old boy, that is disgusting and it's completely wrong. Okay, it's evil. So let's get this out the way. A lot of people like to say, because Hassan said that he started being molested at 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever you want to believe, whatever age. Yes, it's a little discrepancies here and there. Let's keep it simple. From age 18 and below, a person in their 30s has no business having sexual relations with someone. Wait, what did I say? Okay, someone in their 30s has no business. Late 20s, early 30s, mid 20s, low 20s. Hell, if you over 20 years old, you ain't got no business, in my mind, having sexual relationships with someone that's 18 and younger. You understand what I'm saying? That's just what it is. You have no business. So whether Hassan was 13, 14, 15, 16, it doesn't matter. It was wrong. Africa Bambaataa is a disgusting human being and needs to be handled with swift justice. He hasn't been, and the person that could have handled it with swift justice doesn't want to do it for whatever reason. I can understand that those young ages, it being very difficult to want to do something like that. But as a grown man right now, knowing that there's those statute of limitations in New York, what you waiting for? So anyway, it's wrong, and I like to put it in people's mind like this: if you're 16-year-old, let's just keep it in the center of 12 and 18, okay? If your child is 16 years old and they come home and tell you, oh, you know what, Pops? You know what, Mama? I'm going to get my groove on with a 30-something-year-old. Oh, he's been doing all kind of shit, putting his thing in my mouth, thighing me, putting his fingers in all my orifices, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? I'm 16, and I'm sure, Dad, you knew what you were doing when you were 16, and so therefore, it's okay for me to get nastified and violated by a 30-something-year-old man. It's okay, because you knew what you were doing at age 16. I hear that argument a lot. To make it okay for that to have happened to Hassan Campbell. And I find it ridiculous, just to be honest with you. Because you wouldn't want that to happen to your child. You wouldn't want your child at age 16 to be canoodling, fucking around with, doing nasty shit with a 30-something-year-old man, late 20-year-old man, mid 20-year-old man. That's not, just be real with yourself. Let's be real about it. I know, listen, if my child came home, if I found that happened to my child at age 16 years old, I'm going to prison for murder, unless I can get away with it. If I don't get caught, I'm going to jail for hey, more power to me. But if I find out that some grown-ass individual was messing around with my 16-year-old doing the nasty shit that Afrika Bambaataa was doing with Hassan and other boys, that motherfucker dying. Point blank and period. So that's how I like to look at it, and that's how I say it's not okay for that to have happened to Hassan Campbell. Now, could he have, at some point, fallen into a liking? Like, did he eventually probably fall into a relationship or consensual relationship with Afrika Bambaataa, a gay relationship or whatever? You know, that may very well be, or it may not be. But if it did, if that actually happened, if he ended up being in a consensual relationship with Afrika Bambaataa well into his 20s and 30s, it was still wrong for that relationship to have begun in the first place back when he was a teenager. No two ways about it. If that hadn't happened, if Afrika Bambaataa had thrown himself on little boys, including Hassan Campbell, then Hassan wouldn't have been through what he'd been through, and whatever the case may be. But we don't know if he was in a relationship with Afrika Bambaataa like that. You know, people speculate. You see pictures. Oh, you was in a picture with him. Listen, even based on that, I can't pass that judgment. I can't say, okay, Hassan Campbell was his boyfriend. I can't do that. But if he was, it was wrong for it to have begun in the first place. Can we agree on that? If not, let me know in the comment section. It's all good. I ain't worried about it. Nor am I worried about what he thinks about what I'm saying. This is not what this is about. This is about me looking at shit objectively. Looking at shit, yeah, objectively, like in real life, from a moral standpoint, a moral objective standpoint. So, moving on from that, one thing we have to understand: if Hassan Campbell had done this to this boy or this young man when he was 16 years old, chances are there were more victims. He would not be the only person Hassan Campbell had violated like this, if Hassan Campbell had indeed violated this man at that young age. People like that don't just have one victim. They'll have multiple victims because they can't help themselves. This is an urgent urge in them that they have to commit. You understand what I'm saying? Especially if they actually go ahead and do it at some point. You might have the desire, and you may never act on that desire, but once you act on that desire, it doesn't stop. They can't be rehabilitated. They can't be changed around. They will always do what they want to do. That's why I feel like pedophiles need to be castrated, their tongue cut out, their tongue cut out, their lips cut off, their hands cut off, their eyes gouged out so they can't see, touch, lick, and touch and kiss another boy, a child ever again in their life. They won't be able to do it. I think death is too easy. Death is too easy. Although I would kill, because I would be acting out of emotion if somebody did that to my child. I would straight up kill the person. I couldn't see myself, you know what I mean, letting the motherfucker like that live. But if I were some sort of judge or something like that, if I were able to make decisions on how someone like that would be punished, that would be the way. Moving on from that, there has to be other victims. So, and this is why I ended up believing Hassan Campbell, and this is why I started following Hassan Campbell, because I believed in his story. I believed it happened because other people had come out saying the same shit about Afrika Bambaataa, and people had come out backing up Hassan Campbell's story. Okay, now there may be some discrepancies with age and he might be lying and embellishing here and there, but in regards to whether or not African Bada actually violated him as a young man, as a boy, I believe it. Okay, so when I started following him, Hassan Campbell, I believed in his story. You know, he was passionate about helping other victims come out, helping other victims by talking to them and helping them through their story, because that's what he had actually done. You know, he had phone conversations with some victims, and it actually helped them through their struggle, through the things that he was talking about. He would talk to people privately. He would talk to people on his live. He encouraged people to come out against their accuser, put them on blast at Thanksgiving, shit like that. I really thought that was some noble, good shit. And I liked what he was talking about in regards to the hood and staying safe in the hood, staying out of prison, all this other shit. And what you do once you get into prison, trying to help young men and young girls come up out of that mentality and all that. But then at some point he started veering off into some whole other shit, especially with this celebrity gossip shit, which is his prerogative. That he's a grown man. If he wants to, he can do what he wants with his platform. It's up to us, the audience, to decide whether or not we want to continue to support, continue to patronize him. Up to us. If we don't like what he's doing now, stop watching him. There's always going to be people that enjoy that type of content. So it's up to him. If he doesn't want to talk about child molestation no more, that's on him. You know, it is what it is. And we can decide whether or not we believe that he manipulated us to gain a following. He manipulated the believers in the story, the empathizers, in order to gain followers. And then eventually was like, yeah, I'm done with that now. No need for me to talk about it. I got my following, and I'm building a bigger following, talking about celebrity gossip with the twist that he talks about. Yeah, he does celebrity gossip with a twist. It's the same twist every time. Sure, there's nothing new about it. There's nothing original. Each time he does a twist, it's the same twist. It's the Illuminati, death through music and vibration shit. You know, the frequencies. That's what he talks about. Same twist every time with every celebrity gossip story, and that's fine. That's his niche. So that's up to him. But that's when I started becoming less and less interested. And then this whole thing about, I'm the new Malcolm X. Come on, man. There's no Malcolm X of YouTube. You're not the only one bringing awareness. He's the only one bringing awareness, and it's like this shit gets annoying after a while. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, you try to stick in there and see if this is going somewhere, but more and more it's more narcissistic conversation. You know, and listen, there's no Malcolm X. There's no Malcolm X of YouTube. And that statement in and of itself lets you know that it can be true, because there would be no Malcolm X of YouTube. Okay? If Malcolm X were alive today, he might use YouTube to his advantage to reach people, but it wouldn't just be YouTube. He would be out in the streets. He'd be doing all kind of work. Like, he'd be changing lives everywhere. Okay? He wouldn't be a Malcolm X of YouTube. He'd just be Malcolm X handling his business. So, I mean, that's annoying. And then, yeah, of course, you start talking, everybody biting them by doing videos in the car. Please. People have been doing videos in the car on YouTube long before you got on YouTube. So I don't understand where that's coming from, but he likes to think like he's the first person that does everything. Putting all that aside, it will not cloud my judgment. And then, of course, he took my wrench away. I used to be his moderator. He took my wrench away because I was still rocking with Derek Williams, because I was still rocking with Queen's Throne, Queen Supreme, 369, all that stuff. Go check them out. Real good content. But I was still rocking with them, and he didn't like that because I was in the comment section, and because I didn't feel the need to defend everything at all times, and he was making up lies saying that I was allowing people to say he was fucking his kids. Just straight bullshit. You know, just the lies started pouring out. All right, and then he verbally attacks Derek Williams' daughter. And then I had to come at him. He attacks Darius Williams' daughter for no reason. And, you know, he has a habit of going after people's kids. Now, before, I did see him do those things, attacking other people's kids, but it was essentially, it was like a response. And, you know, I had heard other people talk about his kids, and so he was talking about their kids. Now, the timeline might be fucked up. He may have been talking about somebody's kids first, and somebody's family first, and then they started talking about his. However it happened, it was wrong for me to continue to support him after he attacked other people's kids. Just like I would not, I would not support those people who attacked his kids for any reason. You understand what I'm saying? So, but that was the last straw with the Damaris stuff. Him attacking Damaris. I had to address it and then pull back. Now, I didn't feel the need to ever speak his name out of my mouth ever again until this situation come up. And the reason that I'm doing that is because he has such a huge following. Not that huge. 107,000 subscribers. Way huger than mine. Way bigger than mine. And I'm not jealous of his following because I just started out, and you know, I don't have any sensationalized story to bring to you guys to go viral. I'm just doing what I do, doing what I can, pushing the information out there, pushing the truth out there, pushing freedom out there. So there's no reason for me to be jealous. I don't have, and that's what he would argue. Oh, these motherfuckers jealous. No, pimping. So the reason I'm addressing this is because the same reason I addressed Brandon Tatum, ABL, Candace Owens, these people who do have a huge following and it can be essentially dangerous. You know, you could lead people in the wrong direction if you have such a huge following, have such huge influence. And what are you doing with it? What are you doing with that influence? And then to find out that you might be a child molester. Well, I feel like as many people need to address this as possible. But again, we need to do it in an objective manner. I'm not going to pass judgment on whether or not Hassan Campbell had done this. But I will say that after seeing the first two videos of this white dude that accused him, it's still not enough for me to go on. To say, okay, yes, Hassan Campbell's a child molester. No, we need more than that. If Hassan Campbell had done this to him, he had done it to more victims. More victims will probably come out if this is true. Because once the first person comes out, it gives the other people the courage to come out. So we'll see what happens. And we'll see if there's more information. We'll see what the second part of the interview is about. Third part, however many parts Front Street ENT does. Shout out to him, by the way, for bringing it to us. Now, again, I can't go off that. I can't go off those two videos. There's not enough there yet. But I'm going to be patient. I'm going to see what comes out. You understand? And what's done in the dark always comes to the light. We know this. And so let's move on. Now, do I believe he could possibly do something like this? Yeah, because of certain things that I saw in a video. Because I wanted to go check this out. Once this thing came out, once this whole situation came out, my interest was piqued, and I said, let me go see something. And I wanted to go look at those little boys that he done videos with. I wanted to look at the videos he had done with these little boys who he had helped get to 1,000 subscribers. Okay, he had done that, and of course people were coming at him because he was saying they're grooming him and accusing him of wanting to molest them and all that other stuff. And I only saw a couple videos when I was his moderator of him with him. And one thing that did disturb me at that time was him saying that he was going to take them to the mall to go shopping. Mad inappropriate. You don't, you know, that's inappropriate. Okay, that's inappropriate. Like, what are their parents okay with that? Anyway, so I saw a video, right, that came up that I saw on T-Bone from Color's website, and I'm going to play it now. Give it a minute to get to the part where it disturbed me, and then we'll go from there. We'll talk about it, and I can tell you why I feel like it might be true. I just can't say definitively it is. I'm leaning that way, but leaning is not the same thing as actually falling on. I'm not falling that way yet. I'm leaning there, you know, whatever the case may be. So let's get into it.
like every other little boy.
Give it a minute.
So many little boys that I know. And sometimes when I see these little boys, I go in the background. That little boy sitting in the closet, big games. Mind you, if you see this little boy, and that little boy, fuck him up. He's already an angry little boy. Bam peeped out that weakness and he had a Fields day. Big games, little boys.
Too much editing in this
Toughen the
part.
boy up, fucking man. I don't have to care. That's not my son. You know where my son is at? Right in the house. Big games with his dad. Little boys, little boys, little boys, little boys, big games. All right, man.
Now, I just wanted to point out that T-Bone had cut it in a certain way to make it sound like Hassan was saying some of that shit. As you may have gathered, I'm just pointing that out. You know, let's move on to the straight, unedited version.
Guys out here trying to sell me some hot Kool-Aid, right? Now, where your cups at? Your cups is in the bag, right? Why your cups is in the bag? But your bag is dirty, man. Look at your bag. Let me zoom in. Look at the top of his bag, right? The top of his bag is dirty, right? So now you want me to drink some hot Kool-Aid out of a hot pitcher. You ain't even got no ice in the pitcher, right? And I'm supposed to drink out of the cup. Where the cup's at? So the cups is in a dirty bag. Put the cups on the table, man. All right, it's in the plastic, but it's still dirty. Bad hijinks, right?
What do you mean?
Bon appetit. Buy Kool-Aid for $1 or donate. So if I don't donate to your cause and I don't buy your Kool-Aid,
Listen,
then it means that guy right there, the big guy right there that just threatened me, he said he's going to punch me in my eye if I don't
The
give
big
y'all
guy
at least
right
a
there?
dollar about a Kool-Aid, right?
why is he pointing out that particular kid? I have the link to the video in the description.
So that's extortion right there. I guess, right? So I got to give y'all some money or the big guy's going to knock me out.
Now, again, he's singling out this big guy. I don't know about y'all, but that's a little weird. It's a little creepy. But a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's inappropriate, I feel. And you can tell he doesn't know this kid, and you really tell in a second, all right? You can tell that he doesn't know this kid, which means he doesn't know the parents. Really, not a really appropriate conversation to have with kids you don't know, whose parents you don't know. You feel me?
Yeah, I don't think he can do it. I don't think he got it in him.
You see how now he's kind of like calling the kid out, like calling him out to get up and kind of like approach him in a certain way. For what purpose, for what ends, you'll see. You'll see. But again, inappropriate. I would not like this. If I saw this video and it was my kid that he was talking about like that, I'd have a huge problem with it. Just as a father and just in this day and age with everything going on, you can't really trust adults you don't know around your kids. And mind you, there are no parents of these kids in the video or anywhere. So, moving on from that.
Uh-oh. He got some big feet there, people. Look, he got some.
What was it? What was it? Excuse me. Why are you concerned about his feet being big? Why are you concerned about his big feet? Again, I'm this kid's parent. I would have a huge problem with that. It would be fireworks. Like, what are you talking about? If I rolled up and he was talking to my son like that, oh, he got some big feet, it would be a huge problem. Be a problem. Be a problem. Creepy.
Some big feet. Oh, swear, I didn't think he was that big.
Word. Oh, I didn't think he was that big. Ooh, you bigger than I thought. Oh, like what? Again, it's getting more and more inappropriate. and he's zeroing in on this big guy with big feet who is bigger than he thought. You don't know the parents. You don't know this kid. If you don't buy the Kool-Aid and keep it pushing, we don't need all this color commentary and all this shit and inciting the dude to kind of put his hands on you.
Oh.
You might as well just buy that Kool-Aid, bro. Like,
Wow.
Buy Kool-Aid, bro. Like,
Buy 3, get 1 free. Buy Kool-Aid. Buy Kool-Aid.
I ain't buying nothing. You better get out of my face. Oh.
Now, at this point, if you watch the video, you'll see that the camera's kind of jostled. You don't see exactly what happens, and then Hassan ends up on the floor. You know, I don't know if the dude touched him or if he touched the dude and they simulated a tussle. They're being playful. For me, a little too playful. Okay? I ain't with that. Don't fuck around with my kids like that. If they got the Kool-Aid stand, get the Kool-Aid and keep it pushing. Now, I would say, I don't know if he knows these kids' parents, or if he knew them from before, but just based on how he approached the big guy, I can say that he at least does not know the big guy. You see what I'm saying? So let's keep it moving. I think that's pretty much it. And that's enough for me to question whether I should trust somebody like that around my children. Okay. Nowadays, I keep a close eye on my children and what's going on around them, especially with other adults that I don't really know that well, and even with adults that I do know well. You gotta watch everybody. You understand what I'm saying? So, with that, I'll say definitely creepy. I hope it's not true. I hope this is just, maybe, I don't know. I just hope it's not true. But if it is, he needs to be handled in any way that any other pedophile would be handled. No mercy. You understand what I'm saying? And so if this winds up being true, hopefully people can have the sense to stop supporting somebody like that and actually get the justice that needs to be gotten. Because like I said, if this is truly his victim, then there has to be other victims, and we need to find out who those victims are and what we can do to help these people. And maybe help them feel safe enough to come out, because he's aggressive. He's an aggressive dude, a threatening dude that may intimidate young people that he might have victimized. So we need to give them the courage and say, look, if it comes out that this is true and he's done this to you, we will help keep you safe. We will protect you from him as we get the justice. You understand what I'm saying? And again, no ad hominem attacks being flung at Hassan Campbell. This is not a personal attack on him. I'm addressing this as I would address any other public figure that had this come out about them. You understand what I'm saying? So, what I will say is, objectively speaking, we need to wait and see what comes out. We need to wait and see what information comes out. We need proof. We need evidence, because this is a serious accusation. And again, like I said, I'm leaning towards maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but leaning towards maybe he did. Okay. Seeing things like this puts things into perspective. You go back and hindsight is 20/20. You go look back at other videos and start to see patterns and start to see little things slip up out. Because like I said, what's done in the dark comes in the light. And it's hard to keep a lie up like this forever and ever. It's hard to keep something like this secret if you're a public figure. Now, Afrika Bambaataa got away with it for 40 years. And he's still getting away with it. So, the statute of limitations, that doesn't apply anymore. So what can we do about that? Somebody like Hassan Campbell should come out and speak up on it. And seek real justice on Afrika Bambaataa. Anyway. He was trying to, and then, he said, oh, I'm not a politician. But true, but you have attacked other people for lesser shit. You have come at other people for lesser offenses, way lesser offenses. So why not Afrika Bambaataa? Yeah, he raised you and he's like a father figure, but that doesn't mean he gets a pass. Anyway, so yeah, let's just look at this objectively. We're gonna find out what's going on. Let's try to stay. See, look, let's try to stay away from the ad hominem attacks towards Hassan Campbell as we push on through this whole situation, because if there are ad hominem attacks behind what we bring out and what we address as far as Hassan Campbell, whether or not he's a victimizer of a person who commits child sexual abuse, it'll muddy the waters. It'll make it more difficult for people to take it seriously, because all they'll see is an attack on his character. They'll see an attack on him because he was a victim. That's all they'll see. They won't see the facts. You muddy the facts when you throw in fallacies like ad hominem attacks and things like that. You want to stay away from that. You want to stay objective. You want to stay factual, rational. Because if he decides to come back at you with a response and a retort, a reaction, he can easily pick apart your argument because you're throwing ad hominem attacks at him. And he'll be able to avoid the real issues, the facts, the rational shit, the shit that you bring forth. You know what I'm saying? You want him to have to attack the argument, not you. So if you don't attack him, but he attacks you personally, then you can tear that apart. All right, see, he's deflecting, he's flinging ad hominem attacks at me to avoid the real situation. So that's why I'm not doing it. I'm not flinging ad hominem attacks. We're gonna see what comes out. Okay? Yeah, and that's pretty much all I got. Yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah. So y'all stay up. Hit that like button, hit that share button, subscribe, whatever. Or if you're a follower of Hassan Campbell, you want to come in here and, tell us what you think. What do you think? You're a follower of his? You believe in him? What do you think about this whole situation? Looking at it objectively, or you can attack me personally. I don't care if people fling ad hominem attacks at me. It is what it is. Like, can they see me with these hands? That's all that matters. People can attack me verbally all they want. You see what I'm saying? I don't care about verbal attacks. I don't care about personal attacks over a screen or a phone or in a text message. I don't care about none of that. What happens when you get in my face and we got to put the hands to the test? That's all that matters to me. Like, I'm cool over here. It is what it is. I'm very secure in my manhood. I'm secure in myself, and I'm secure in everything that I do. It is what it is. So anyway, do what you want. Do what you guys do in the comment section. I know I'm gonna put his name in the title, so I know it's gonna bring some people, and that's fine. If you wanna, and even if you want to unsubscribe, cool beans. That's what's up. So, yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna come at y'all later with some more information about other topics. But like I said, so the reason I'm doing this is because he has a powerful voice to a degree. Not the most powerful. He has a powerful voice to a degree, and we have to make sure that the people that are behind him knows what's going on, so he's not being able to manipulate people and end up like a cult leader or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's all it is to it. Simple as that. All right, peace.